Welcome to Welcome with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And I'm going to repeat that. Lay not up yourselves for treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Jesus tells us not to accumulate hordes of materialistic possessions because they will not last. The cloth will be eaten up by moths and would turn into nothing. Metal objects will rust and crumble into dust. All earthly possessions are temporary. Scripture tells us it is important to set aside a portion of our wealth in order to provide for our family and maintain a financial stability. Wealth only becomes troublesome when we allow it to control us. When we want the latest new thing, the biggest new thing, we'll never be satisfied. And the world knows that. Why? Because the things of this world belongs to the world. And Satan has y'all hook, line, and sinker. They've made it. The society has made it to make sure that you stay in the things of this world. Why? Because they're always coming out with the newest version, the latest version. Almost everything you have, is the update, the 2.0. When the one thing that's the first thing that you had works perfectly great and still does work. But they want you to buy the newer version. Oh, but this one can do this and that one can. This is the newest and latest thing. There's people that's got to get the newest phone every year. Every year you get a brand new phone. And can you imagine? Think when it first came out. We thought it was way too much to be spending $100 on a phone. Now we're spending $1,000 on a phone, and for it to cost that much money, what do we do? You only have it for a year. Could you imagine if you was to tell yourself way back when they came out that you'll be spending $1,000 on a phone, and you'll be throwing it away every year, every 6 months, and just spending enough money to get it? No, you wouldn't think so. You thought it was too much when the Galaxies was coming out, and they was like $600-700 that per one. Everybody had to have it, but it was too much money, and it was only like $500. But nowadays, you're just throwing away thousands of dollars, thousand here, $1,200, $2,000 on phones. Those laptops are a scam. You spend all the thousands of dollars, and they don't even last a year, and you have to update it and get a new version. Because it's fast, it's easy, it's portable. When a PC works just great and it lasts a whole bunch longer. But it's all about tricking you. It's all keeping you on spending your more money. Things on things you don't really have. But people can't, people wonder why they can't afford groceries. They can't go here and there. Maybe if you wouldn't spend all that money on things that you really don't need. Each one of those game systems costs now almost like $500,000. When they first come out, even it was expensive when they was $200-300. Now they're guaranteed to be $500 plus, and everybody wants to get it when they first come out. And here's the thing, y'all fall for it every time. Me, I've always told my kids, when it first came out, I was like, don't get it when it first came out. Don't do it. If you just wait a couple of months, you're gonna automatically, the price is gonna go down anywhere from $100 to $200, guaranteed. Not only that, but people so ready to prove to everybody, look at me, and I got it when it first came out. They're falling for it because usually that product, when it first came out, especially the iPhone people, imagine that, had bugs, was broken, and this didn't work, and this didn't work, but yet they done spent all that money for it when it first came out. Oh, but all those people who waited patiently, by just a couple months later, they done fixed the bugs that was in with it. The price done gone down, And nobody knows because a year later, it's the exact same looking phone. They ask what model it is. Oh yeah, it's iPhone 4, what have you not. And they would have never known that they waited 6 months later to get the iPhone 4 versus a person who had to get it the immediate moment that it came out. Nobody's going to be able to tell that you got it the first came out versus 4 months later when it came out that same year. They are scamming you mentally, and every single one is falling for the bait, taking the bait. And that includes everything that comes with the cars. So it makes people strive for what? Everything else. You're getting so much in the habit of that you don't think nothing else is wrong when it comes to like having to constantly keep buying stuff, right? Because you're already mindset, you're already programmed into knowing and thinking it's okay to go ahead and spend all this money on a particular item and then not care about it a couple of months later because you need to spend that same amount of money again on the same products that you already have that you probably couldn't really afford to begin with to get the newer later version because it's the right and correct thing to do. You have been mentally programmed to take the bait. And everybody swims to that hook every single time. Just lined up and fall for it every single time. So you get in the habit of like you have a house. It's perfectly nice, but then you go see somebody and you see people like MTV Cribs and all these people showing how big of the house is. Not only do they have this house, but they have a beach house and they have a lake house and then they have a cabin over here. Man, you don't need all that. Most of those people don't even go to those homes that they have them. They just sit there. Just sit there. There's too many people in this world who don't even have a home. And that there's a lot of people buying multiple homes that they don't even freaking use. There's so many people that's buying houses and don't even live with them that they literally turn that house into a closet. That's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And yeah, of course, it sounds like, oh, you're just hating on them. Yeah, I could say I'm sitting there hating on them. You know, you can sit there and say it all you want to, but no, it's not. Not when you realize that eventually, so you have that full of all those clothes that you don't even gonna wear. See, that's why it says when God says he blesses people, man, he does it so he gives the ability to bless other people. It's not necessary to have all that. It's going to get stolen. It's going to rot away. You're wasting all your time. You're wasting all your money on it. And people are really struggling out here. Yep, but they're buying things that they don't necessarily need. They maybe wouldn't be struggling so bad if they wouldn't be so focused on buying the latest and new edition of this. Got your priorities wrong. Because let me explain to you, the world's going to keep going on whether you have that newest version or not. But it's kind of harder for you to enjoy the life that keeps on going on when you don't have a roof over your head. When that new car gets stolen and you need to take you your whole lifetime to get that new car, and then for some reason it wasn't covered by the insurance and now you can't get another new car, so you're stuck without a car. People got it all wrong. But this world, this government, this society has tricked you and has baited you and has programmed you to thinking that you need and gotta have all these things, or you're no longer accepted. You're no longer part of this group, or you're completely nothing if you don't have these things. Making you not focus on what really matters. Family life really matters. Love really matters. Those things you can't buy. But your mind and your whole life is set on chasing things that only money can buy and that can be gone. And while doing so, you're losing the very things that matters the most. Yourself, loved ones, your time. You can never buy those things back. You can never buy those things. Yeah, but you spent your whole life chasing the things that takes up all those things, the three main important things away out of your life. The three things that are the most important that you cannot ever buy. You throw them away for the things that you can